Good evening. I would like to call to order the Keizer City Council in regular session. It is Monday, December 1st, 2025. Happy holidays, everybody, and ask our city recorder to please call roll.
Councilor Parsons?
Here.
Councilor Kohler?
Here.
Mayor Clark?
Here.
Council President Starr?
Here.
Councilor Christopher?
Here.
Councilor Duran?
Here.
Councilor Cross?
Councilor Cross is excused this evening.
Youth Councilor Guptill?
Here.
All right, thank you very much. If you are able, I ask you to rise and all join us in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. It is my pleasure to start this evening's proceedings with the Proclamation for Human Rights Day. It is my pleasure to introduce our speaker for this evening, and that is State Representative Kevin Mannix. Many of you know Representative Mannix from his work as our representative for House District 21, but he is a particularly good fit for talking to us tonight about Human Rights Day because of his other work and life experience. He does serve on key committees tackling some of the state's toughest challenges, including transportation, behavioral health, and housing. And he's also served in the Salem area for 10 years, more than 2 decades ago, and returned to legislature in 2023. Between his terms, he has authored and passed more legislation than any other legislator in Oregon history. But here's some things you may not know about Representative Mannix. He was born in New York in 1949 and spent his childhood moving across Latin America as his father served in the United States Foreign Aid Program, later known as USAID. From celebrating his 5th birthday aboard a ship bound for Ecuador to attending schools in Quito, Panama City, La Paz, and Arlington, Virginia, he grew up immersed in diverse cultures, languages, and communities. His years in Spanish-speaking countries where he attended local as well as international schools, often studying in Spanish, gave him firsthand insight into different societies and the universal importance of fairness and civil rights. Returning to Virginia in the 1960s, there was a calm era, he continued studying Spanish and became deeply engaged in student leadership, ultimately serving as student council president at both Wakefield High School and later at the University of Virginia. These early experiences shaped the representative's lifelong commitment to public service, respect across cultures, and advocating for equal opportunity. It's my pleasure to welcome Representative Kevin Mannix.
Good evening, Mayor Clark, members of the City Council, city officials, and ladies and gentlemen. I'm pleased to be here tonight as your state representative. I always like to remind people that Keizer has only one state representative, that's me, and I do represent also North Salem, but I have to share Salem with 2 other state representatives. But I don't have to share Keizer with anyone else, and I'm proud to be here as your state representative. I also appreciate the opportunity to speak to the topic of human rights. You've heard a little bit about my background, but I'd like to personalize it a little bit further. My father, as a Foreign Service officer for the United States, worked with folks from various nationalities, but especially, of course, folks from Ecuador, Panama, and Bolivia. And in Panama, we were not in the canal zone. We were in the country of Panama proper. But he taught me as a young man to be respectful of the environment in which we lived and all the cultures that we intersected with. And I still remember in Bolivia, my brother and I, one of my brothers and I, on a Saturday morning, going to the chauffeur's, I'll call it hut, where all the American officials had chauffeurs and drivers to get them various places. And this was a Saturday. For some reason, my brother and I were there, and we went into the chauffeur's hut where they had a fire going to keep warm. And in talking with them, just chatting with them, they expressed to me how much respect they had for my father, because he was an American who showed respect to them, listened to them, and treated them with courtesy. And somehow that always stuck with me. And through the years living in Latin America, Time magazine was the one source of information we could get about what was going on. And I remember in 1957 being somewhat shocked, chagrined to read about the President of the United States having to send the 101st Airborne into Little Rock, Arkansas, in order to make sure that the law was followed to integrate schools. And I was pretty, I'll say, unknowing about these things. But when I came back to Virginia in 1964, in ninth grade, I still was unaware of a lot of what was going on in terms of these human rights issues until I realized I was in an all-white ninth grade. And Virginia, Arlington was finally desegregating, and I heard some of the racist remarks of some of the other students who didn't want to go to Wakefield High School because blacks were going to be brought to that school as the black high school was closed and desegregation occurred. But what I especially remember was that we kids, many of us having international backgrounds, did not buy into the mantra of some of the adults in the community. They shut down the Parent-Teachers Association. They tried to eliminate social events at the school. We reestablished them on our own. And the administration and the staff were very helpful. But the experience of seeing other youth working to push back against what was called massive resistance in Virginia was very compelling to me. And when I went to Wakefield, those 3 years in that high school, all of us working together, the black students, some Latino students, there was a small population at that time, and the rest of the community of students working together to be a successful high school and eventually establishing all of the traditions and activities. To me, there was another generation then coming forward with a fresh perspective. And I think the adults in the community who were not supportive over time had to learn a different perspective on human rights. Now, I'm speaking in a very limited perspective when I talk about it. When we look at the world tonight, we have folks who are dying because of disrespect for other nations, other cultures. And this is something that we need to continue to resist. And in our own community, we can come together with the declaration which the City Council has in front of us to establish that we reaffirm our respect for human rights, for people of all nationalities, all ethnicities, all religions, that we want to work together for the betterment of our community. And I'm very proud to be here tonight at your request to accept this Human Rights Declaration on behalf of the state of Oregon and to pass this on to my colleagues and say, we can do better. Let's listen to our friends in the city of Keizer and the city of Keizer City Council in reaffirming our commitment to human rights. And I thank you very much for the invitation to be present here tonight.
Thank you very much, Representative. It is now my honor to read the proclamation. Whereas on December 10, 1948, the member states of the United Nations signed the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, and countries of different political, economic, and social systems unanimously agreed on the fundamental rights that all people share solely on the basis of their common humanity. And whereas the Universal Declaration asserts recognition of the inherent dignity and of the equal and inalienable rights of all members of the human family is the foundation of freedom, justice, and peace. And whereas disregard and contempt for human rights have resulted in acts which have outraged the conscience of mankind. And whereas the advent of a world in which human beings enjoy freedom of speech and freedom of belief, along with freedom from fear and want, has been proclaimed to be the highest aspiration of the worldwide human community. And whereas the city of Keizer affirms that all people shall be treated with dignity and respect. And whereas each person has the power and ability to promote and act on respect for human rights and freedoms. Now, therefore, the Keizer City Council, assembled here in regular session, does hereby proclaim December 10th, 2025 as Human Rights Day and urges the residents of our community to actively and thoughtfully live out these ideals. I will now present this to Representative Maddox. Picture time and
Scoot back a little
There?
bit, we'll get Keizer in here.
You want us to stand behind?
would you please? Robin's gonna vote you.
I always get to tease her.
She is Keizer times. You better watch it, dude.
Smile again. And again. Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you very much. It feels very fitting that after having issued this proclamation, that we are now going to introduce 3 members of our Keizer Police Department who work so hard to live out our ideals of treating all people with dignity and respect. Chief Copeland.
Thank you, Madam Mayor, City Councilors, City staff, and those in the audience tonight. I want to introduce 3 very special people to my heart and hopefully soon to yours. One, I'm going to reintroduce because you probably already know him, but I would love to have Ben Crosby, Caleb Harrison, and Josh Barnett come down.
Right there. Yep.
This way, kind of stagger, so, people.
That way the camera can get you.
That's amazing. Just as a reminder, and for those who don't remember or those who haven't heard, we switched our hiring practices at Keizer Police Department probably, it was about 10 years ago. And from that, we've seen just an outpouring of great individuals being hired by the city. We really took a deep dive into what matters most to the community and kind of what the best attributes would be of an individual to serve in that community. And then we decided, you know what, let's pick the best person and train them to be a cop, right? We don't need to hire somebody who already knows how to do law enforcement or to, do all the things that we do. We can train that. There's an academy for that. 16-week academy, plus a long, rigorous field training program after that. All 3 of these individuals before you have gone through that process and, came out with shining remarks by the peers around them and are going to serve the city well. So anyways, with that, it's a long process to get hired here, and these 3 know that. It's been a long time in the making. And I'll start with Ben Crosby. He was our code compliance, worked with Shane and the city staff on the other side of the building. So as we divide, and I'll tell you, I've got to work with Ben for many, many years, and it's been amazing. One of the hardest working people I know. He has a sense of righteousness and morality that is second to none. And it's an honor and a privilege for us to hire him as our community service officer. So as we transition, we now have 2 community service officers, as you met Danny before, and Ben is complementing that. And he's going to be out in the community kind of doing the same thing he was doing before, but more on the police side, and we're going to give him some additional tasks and duties away from code compliance as Shane moves somebody else into that position here shortly. So today's his first day, looking sharp with the Keizer police shirt. So I asked each of them to just, hey, listen, we want to know a little bit about you and a little bit of history, just so if you don't know who Ben is, or maybe you're going to learn something new about him tonight. He brings nearly 20 years of municipality enforcement experience to this position. His new role, to this new role as a community service officer. He spent the past decade serving, so 10 years serving as the code enforcement officer. Well, he clearly built strong relationships with lots and lots of residents within our community, businesses, and partnering agencies. All the while, and I told you this, he just maintains this amazing aura about him, but maintaining community standards of the public safety. Before joining Keizer, Ben worked for the city of Salem in multiple enforcement capacities, including code enforcement, parking services, municipal security. All of that experience has made him up to who he is today. outside of work, this is like what we all want to know. What else do you do besides work? He enjoys spending time outdoors, especially camping and hiking, and he has a passion for traveling and experiencing new places around the country and the world. Mostly, though, he does whatever his wife tells him to do. Is Cindy here? Yeah. Oh, they're back, okay. Okay, so Cindy is here, his wife, and Logan, who looks a lot older than the last time I saw him. And his daughter, Harmony, cannot be here because she's serving the public as a dispatcher. So, yeah, that is a very hard job. If you've never done it, it is incredibly hard. So anyways, he's here. We thank Ben for joining the Keizer Police side, and he's going to just make and transform this community service officer position to something we probably couldn't imagine it could be. But he's already pushing us in different things that he's capable of doing and bringing new roles and responsibilities to that position. So, Ben, thank you for being here. Super appreciate you. Thank you, family, for coming and supporting him. Without family, we certainly couldn't do our jobs well. So, thank you, Ben. If you want to sit, you can. Yeah, shake hands, and then Ben's going to go hang out with the fam. I was like, you can stand here all night, but.
Awesome.
Good to see you.
Have your wife and son come up.
You want them to take a picture?
I want them for you two.
Okay. Cindy, Logan, come here.
Oh, yeah. You guys get out of the way.
What are we doing? Are we hugging?
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, just stay for a sec.
Dan, where you at? I'm coming. Robin, do you want to get this?
Good, good.
Public service is a family affair for sure.
He's pretty good. Nice.
All right, act like you want to be here.
Welcome to the light side.
Good deal. All right. Let's- Oh. That's the camera.
Thank you. That's a long time coming.
Okay, gentlemen, come back up. It is my pleasure to introduce Josh Barnett and Caleb Harrison. I'm gonna go with Josh first. Josh, we've known for quite a while, and I think we've really wanted him to work at Keizer Police for a long time, but he's been doing a lot of other really cool things. I'm going to read kind of his bio, but he's just been one of those guys that has been very respected within this profession by a lot of different agencies. So he's worked for, you'll hear his bio in a minute, but he worked for another agency before coming for us, and then also served all of Salem Keizer School District in a capacity and started a program that is benefiting lots of communities out there. So let's get into it. So Josh attended Chemeketa for a year before going to work at the Oregon State Hospital in the forensics unit for several years. He then left Oregon State Hospital to finish a psychology degree at Willamette University, where he played tennis for 3 years as well. So if you want to play tennis, there's your guy, not me. He then worked in social services, helping at-risk youth before being hired by Silverton PD. And Silverton PD is super near and dear to my heart. My brother worked there, Lieutenant Hine worked there, and now we get another wonderful Silverton
Good job, Chief.
officer.
Keep stealing.
We didn't technically steal from Silverton because he left Silverton PD after being promoted to sergeant in 2012 to help create CTEC law enforcement program. So he's been there since 2018, and he kind of thought he was going to be there for about 10 years until he had a run-in with Lieutenant Hine a while back. And Lieutenant Hine made some compelling arguments as to why the transition to law enforcement wouldn't be so bad without waiting that full 10 years. So Lieutenant Hine, thank you very much. And now Josh did apply with us and clearly got hired on. But he before that, I mean, yeah, thank you anyways. Yeah, really appreciate that. Continue on. He lives in Salem with his wife, Lindsay, and his kids. Let's see, who was all here today? Claire? Is it Jerry? Jari? Jane. Oh my gosh, I can't even read. What is wrong with me? Yep, that's Jane. That is not an R and an I and an E all put together. That is Jane, clearly. Zoe, Haley, and Charlotte. Is Haley? I think they made it. You did. You snuck in. We waited long enough for you to get here. And then Mom Kathy is here as well. So super happy to have him. He is already making an impact on our community. The cool part about it is he went to the academy when he got hired at Silverton PD back in 2007-ish, and he gets to go back again. So he's currently attending the academy.
Does he have to do the whole 16?
The whole 16.
jeez.
Yes, he does. So he probably could teach the academy, so we expect like straight, A's and, nothing less than that. So anyways, no pressure. Anyways, super happy to have him. He used to live in Keizer for a long time, so he's very acquainted with the community and willing to give back and just a great guy. So when you see him, there's Josh Barnett. Happy to have you. Next, yeah.
Wait. Chief, handshaking, family pictures.
We're going to get there. We're going to get there.
Oh.
I was going to introduce Caleb and then we'll do it all at once.
Well, okay.
I mean, proficiency in action. Okay, the next I want to introduce is Caleb Harrison. He's the one who originally got away, and I remember he worked for us as a cadet back in 2016, and we loved him. He was absolutely amazing. All the attributes, just worked hard, really was a phenomenal cadet for us, did lots of things for us and learned the profession. I don't remember why. It was he applied here and didn't get asked to join us back, 3-4 years ago, and it was one of the biggest mistakes. And I mentioned this over the last 3 years, even to Lieutenant Hine. He is my witness. I'm like, the one who got away was Caleb Harrison. And I was like, this is such a good human and individual. We need to get him back. And so we kept in contact. We talked quite a bit. He was at McMinnville PD for 3 years and served that community. And I'll tell you, when we had an opportunity to snag Caleb back, it was like, the heavens opened up and a gift dropping down. So, I'm speaking so high, you're going to live it out. I know you're going to fulfill all these things I say about you, but I'll tell you, he has all the attributes plus. He's a phenomenal human, and we're just super happy to have him. The community's better because of Caleb Harrison, for sure. Before he started with Keizer PD as a cadet, he worked in lots of different areas within the community, including McNary Golf Club, Starbucks, Salem Health, Simply Mac. So he has kind of this wide variety of skills in customer service that really play well into law enforcement, because you need to talk and communicate with people and be able to do it well. Besides his professional career in law enforcement, which is about 3.5 years, he is in full-time law enforcement. His personal hobbies include everything outdoors. So camping, snowboarding, hiking, paddleboarding, and really, like he says, anything to get him outside the walls of a building. And, we all couldn't do this without family, right? Family and friends that closely support us and really just guide us along this path of life. And so supporting him here today is his parents, Patrick and Cindy, and the ones who started all of it, his grandparents, Larry and Judy. So super happy to have you guys here as well. At this point, I would love to make it official by putting a badge on those uniforms, if you don't mind. If I could have Patrick and Lindsay come up and grab a badge, and then this is a symbol. Sorry, I'll undo that for you. A badge does not represent implicit authority or something that just goes beyond something. It's a commitment to the city of Keizer, to the residents, to the state of Oregon, to uphold all the laws and Constitution, and to do it with procedural justice, to be fair and impartial, to treat people with dignity and respect, and to make sure peoples are heard, and to do it humbly. And you guys will do that. And by taking this badge by your loved ones, that's a commitment to serve the community of Keizer. And we super appreciate it. Go ahead. Pictures. I think we want to get the families up here. We could do, Josh, if you want to go first, and then Caleb go second. We'll get family pictures real quick. Oh, look at this. Come on up. You drove here for a reason. You might as well get a picture.
I want to see all these dang girls. Oh, wait, there's a more. Oh, cute one. So is that a son?
Okay, everybody happy to be here?
Good-looking bunch.
Chief, scoot in just a little bit. There you go, thank you. You're all right. Thank you very much.
Really good.
Wow, this is good. Okay, scoot over a little bit so you're right centered. A little bit further, come on. Okay, good. I get in trouble for this all the time. But it makes better pictures. Good deal. Okay, Chief. Excellent.
It is.
Thank you. Congratulations.
Yeah.
Now, wait, are we shaking hands? Thanks for the second chance. Welcome.
What a great way to start the month of December. Congratulations to our new members of the Keizer Police Department and to our entire Keizer Police family. Let's go now to committee reports. We've got some volunteers here to talk about what's been happening in 3 of our committees. We'll start with Trevor Lewis and then Multimodal Safety Committee.
Good evening. I'm Trevor Lewis. I'm with the Multi-Module Safety Committee, the new name of our committee. Just good evening to Madam Mayor and the council members and city authority and to the Keizer citizens here. Just want to bring my very first summary to the council. So I'm a little nervous, so just kind of bear with me. First off, I just want to say a big thank you to the co-chair, Brenda Lamb, who unfortunately it was her last meeting last month. And so she is moving on, but she said for sure that she would want to continue volunteering in some other capacities. So I just wanted to give her kudos to being a part of our committee and showing me a few of the ropes and maybe the beverage refrigerator behind you guys. I didn't know that until she showed me that. But anyway, also she was and still is looking forward to seeing if the pilot pedestrian flag program will continue to exist in the near future. And from our meetings that we're looking at getting some feedback and hearing back from people using the pilot program. And so we've had a few people give feedback on that, and so far that's been very positive. And then hopefully we're looking at it going from a pilot program to the pedestrian flag program, if that's what the future looks like for the flag program. So we had continued discussion about the bike lane painting, and we are working very diligently on making the bike lane the more specific locations for starting the program, going from all of Keizer to some very specific locations. The example would be the intersection at Lock Haven River Road intersection, possibly the east and west side as a starting point for the program, if that is will be brought forward to the 2026 budget committee. If it goes to budget, we'd like to see that. We continue talking about reduced speed limit in residential areas from 25 to 20, and still talking about that, seeing what that would look like, and going from, again, all of the city of Keizer down to possibly a couple residential areas. But again, we'd like to bring that forward to the city of Keizer and the citizens of Keizer to give us more feedback on that and see if that's even a possibility, because that's, again, a lot of work and a lot of changes for our city. And then, excuse me, there was a talk amongst the Northwest Keizer Neighborhood Association about a possible three-way stop at the intersection of Lock Haven and Windsor Island because of the ongoing traffic from the trucks and just the heavier traffic flow through that intersection there. And then we discussed pedestrian crosswalks and we would look that up through the Google Maps, and we would want to key in on locations of where bus stops, busy streets, and distances between existing signalized crossings. So one example would be the Lock Haven and Windsor Island intersection for a possible pedestrian crosswalk from going from east to west for Keizer Elementary and the high school. So there's a possibility of working on that one, going from, again, several locations to one location. Our committee would distribute a list of possible locations to the neighborhood associations and community and diversity engagement committee for feedback on those locations, and then compiling responses for voting on and bringing the final locations to the 2026 budget committee. And then Chair DeBlasi, I'm done.
Go ahead and wrap up.
Sorry.
When you get a chance.
I
You're
was like-
fine.
I got a lot on here and I was just trying to keep it short and sweet. So again, I guess one positive I'll end with this is the helmet program keeps being a positive for our community. And we just had a donation from Salem Health to be able to purchase 72 new bicycle helmets to be able to continue that project going forward. So thank you very much.
That's a great note to end on. Fantastic. Thank you. Does anybody have any questions for Mr. Lewis? All right, thank you so much.
Thank you.
We do appreciate one thing that you mentioned was on speed limit. And if I remember correctly, that is a topic we're going to be bringing forward into 26 for town halls. So we can have a conversation with the community about what that looks like, what it entails, and the variety of approaches that different communities take. So
Yep.
it's still on our radar.
Yes, thank you.
All right, thank you much. Good job. Okay, following up is Lindsay King for the Planning Commission.
Hello, good evening. Planning Commission met when was it? Feels like forever ago. A couple weeks ago.
Last month.
We had a couple of events. We had, Commissioner Lawyer elected as our chair and Commissioner Grunz elected as our vice chair. We also welcomed a new commissioner, Larry Scruggs, and our youth liaison, Talia Meskar from McNary High School. She seemed really eager and excited to learn about planning and the commission and what we're doing, and so that was kind of fun. We did have a public hearing to discuss a text amendment related to auto-oriented uses. So this would be standalone automobile parking, automobile services like car washes, oil change businesses, things like that. Vehicle sales with repair as secondary, and then automotive dealerships. So this would be specific to the Keizer Station area. The commission had concerns about, noise and impact on the neighboring communities, the residential areas, things like that with regards to, dealerships and some of the more intense uses. We discussed that, do these uses fit the original vision of the Keizer Station? And after some more discussion, we decided to recommend approval of the text amendment to City Council with a couple of changes. We eliminated automobile parking not associated with an allowed use, vehicle sales and secondary repair, and automotive dealers, and any associated changes that might trickle down from that. We just felt that maybe an automotive dealership on the corner, by that park and ride bus station is probably not going to benefit anybody that's walking or anything like that. Plus, they have just other associated noises and traffic issues that we didn't feel fit within that neighborhood or the Keizer Station itself. And yeah, that was it.
Thank you very much, and that's on our agenda tonight, as a matter of fact.
Yay!
So thank you for the tee up on that.
You're welcome.
And the detailed work. Are there any questions for Ms. King? All right, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Have a happy holiday.
You as well.
And committee report cleanup, batting cleanup is Claire Duran for the Keizer Public Arts Commission. Hello.
Hello. This is also my first time, so I'm super nervous.
You got this.
Don't look at me, Lori. Okay, so I just wanted to start with that we have 2 open positions on the board. So if anybody, any artists or art adjacent people would like to apply for our board, we would love to have them. We are also working on an update to our master plan that should be completed into City Council by late January, early February for approval. You have on your council agenda tonight approval of a mural location at Los Dos Hermanos. We are compiling a list of other potential locations for your approval. There have been no contacts with artists or property owners. The first step is to put these locations in front of you guys, City Council, and get your approval to proceed, and then talk with property owners, and then the artists, and then art. And then next year is the 250th anniversary of the United States, and there is some interest to recognize that accomplishment with art somewhere here in our city. That is as far as it's gone, and we will update you when something is more concrete. And then the storm drain art has been delayed, and the final details are being worked out with Public Works and will be included in our updated master plan for your approval. And then, as always, we welcome your ideas for any additional artwork or public art that enriches our community. And that's all I have for you guys.
Wonderful. Thank you very much.
Perfect first time.
Nailed it. Any questions for Ms. Duran? All right, thank you so much. Appreciate that.
Thank you.
That's everybody I have for committee reports. Are there any neighborhood association reports this evening? Come on down.
Good evening, Mayor, Council, staff. My name's Rhonda Rich, and I'm president of the West Keizer Neighborhood Association, and it's not really a report. And what I'm just wanted to say is that on your agenda tonight, you have a motion to do some more outreach for the pavilion at Keizer Rapids Park. So West Keizer would like to give more input as to the location as presented in this motion, but also planned uses for the pavilion. As was presented at the October 14th Parks Board meeting, 5 different types of venues were discussed. I had hoped to discuss these venues at our November 13th meeting to get feedback as to what the community would like to see a pavilion being used for. It seems that the usage will dictate what the size of the facility is and where the location may be. In our May 8th survey, 60% of the people who were there, and there were 17 who did the survey, said yes to a pavilion and ranking uses for what they would like to see. The top was open to public for picnicking and other events, and lastly was sports games. So I hope that more discussion will follow as to not only where a pavilion will be built, but what it will be used for, because another important consideration will be parking that will be needed. Maybe some shared parking with the turf fields will be necessary for large events, indicating that a location just south of Chemawa would be preferable where the dog park currently resides. And there are many factors to consider, and I appreciate a pause in this process. Again, thank you for your consideration for more outreach. Thank you to Councilor President Starr, Councilor Duran, and Councilor Christopher for attending our November meeting and discussing more with us. So we continue to want to be involved as it does affect our neighborhood, and we do use it too. So thank you. And I'll be here if you have any questions when you get to that on your agenda.
Okay, any questions right now? All right, thank you so much. Appreciate
you.
that. Any other neighborhood association reports tonight? Just for people who are watching at home, we have representatives from, I think, 4 out of the 4 right here, so it's pretty good. Youth Counselor Guptill, do you have anything to report on this evening?
I do actually. Last Wednesday, City Manager Brown took me and one of the other youth liaisons on a tour of the City Hall. So we got to kind of see the behind scenes of what happens that we don't get to see. We kind of get to see the end result. So it was very cool.
Wonderful. And thank you to Mr. Brown for continuing to work with our youth liaisons to add more to their experience as well. Appreciate it. All right, thank you very much. Let's go then to Public comment, this time is provided for citizens to address the council on any matters other than those on the agenda scheduled for public hearing. We have one public hearing scheduled for this evening. That's a text amendment, case 2025-17, amending Keizer Code Appendix A, Development Code Section 2.110, commercial mixed use related to auto-oriented uses, which you just heard about from our Planning Commission representative. If you're here for that, stand by. I do not have anybody signed up for public comment tonight. Is there anyone here who would like to address the council on public hearing issues? All right, seeing none, we will then go to our consent calendar. Council President Starr, would you please read the items on tonight's consent calendar?
Yes, Madam Mayor, it is very long. Our consent calendar for tonight consists of item A, approval of the November 17th, 2025 regular session minutes.
That's it. All right. Do we need to pull that for anybody? Okay, Council President Starr.
I move the Keizer City Council adopt the consent calendar as read.
Second.
The consent calendar has been moved and seconded. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed signify by saying no. Motion passes unanimously, one absent. We'll now go to the public hearing. I would like to open a public hearing for the text amendment, case 2025-17, amending Keizer Code Appendix A, Development Code Section 2.110, commercial mixed use related to auto-oriented uses. City Manager?
Thank you, Madam Mayor and Council. This item will be handled by Director Shane Witham.
All right, Ms. Witham.
Thank you, Mr. Brown. Thank you, Madam Mayor, City Council. I think that Ms. King did a great job in the Planning Commission update, so kind of gave the staff report for you of the highlights. Just for a couple technicalities, it's a very straightforward text amendment that's before you for consideration today. It's essentially adding one item where it didn't exist previously. And in the red line packet, it looks like it's two items, but that's only because previously there was only one item under that bullet, so it had to move down. So because of formatting, it looks like two, but it really is technically one additional use that Planning Commission felt was appropriate. Just as a reminder, August 4th council meeting in 2025, an ordinance was passed by council to allow and open up as a conditional use a drive-through window use for a restaurant in Area B on the east side of Keizer Station Boulevard. And that was after a couple public hearings and a neighborhood meeting. And so that had been done. And then I believe it was October meeting that the process for initiating this process was enacted by council because of a new letter of intent with a new user that isn't currently allowed. That user, the Happy's Car Wash and Oil Stop, falls under this category, which is called Automotive Services Except Repair, which is standard industrial classification category 754, which specifically includes things like car washes and quick lube oil change places. So that's what's before you for consideration. The process, we're asking council to consider it, and if you so choose, direct staff to prepare an ordinance and findings to come back at a future meeting for adoption, which would then really change the code. And with that, I'm happy to answer any questions. Ms. King did point out the initial staff proposal we brought before Planning Commission, because council's direction was to say, hey, let's look at these auto-oriented uses in Keizer Station and should we broaden it? And so right now in section 2.11005, there's like 10 things that are outright prohibited. And so we had looked at Planning Commission, we'd looked at to bring 4 of those into being now allowed, along with the drive-through restaurants. And ultimately they kind of talked through it and they landed on, you know what, we really only think that this automotive services except repair is the one that's appropriate for that. So that's where we're at.
All right, thank you very much. Any questions? Seeing no questions, I'd like to open it up for public comment. I don't have anybody signed up for public comment. Is there anyone present who would like to address the council on this, in this public hearing? Seeing none, councilors, any questions before I close the public hearing? Public hearing is now closed. Council President Starr, would you please put a motion on the table?
I move the Keizer City Council direct staff to prepare an ordinance for adoption of proposed text amendments along with any other identified changes necessary for consistency with the Keizer Development Code.
Happy second.
It's been moved and happily seconded that the Keizer City Council direct staff to prepare an ordinance for adoption of proposed text amendments along with any other identified changes necessary for consistency with the Keizer Development Code. Any discussion? All in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed, signify by saying no. Motion passes unanimously, one absent. That concludes the public hearings for this evening. We will now go on to administrative action. On item 9A is Keizer Public Arts Commission KPAC approval to use Los Dos Hermanos as a mural location. City Manager?
Thank you, Madam Mayor and Council. As you heard just moments ago from Ms. Duran, that the Keizer Public Art Commission is requesting that they use, the council approve the location at Los Dos Hermanos restaurant right on 3590 River Road as a place for public art, specifically it'd be the south-facing wall. And there's a concept that is being floated for it that's pretty exciting. And so it's the council's responsibility to cite the locations of where art is, and then KPAC's responsibility to approve the actual art. So you'll not be approving the art for it, but the location for it. And there is no financial impact. They typically purchase these work within their budget or through donations or in-kind services. And they have an annual budget of $6,000. They have talked with the owner at Los Dos Hermanos, and who's willing and excited about it. And some of you have talked on the dais, have talked to them. So with your approval, then they would like to move forward with that. So that is the request before you to allow the citing of public art at Los Dos Hermanos restaurant.
All right. Thank you very much. Any questions on the staff report or the proposal?
Yeah.
Councilor Christopher.
I don't have any questions, but I wanted to add to that. You're going to get, they're scouting all of River Road. So I anticipate that there will be a number of locations coming to you, 5 or 6 more locations. The reason this one is coming to you tonight is we have a willing owner. We have not talked to details. We have outlined what the process is, that City Council has to approve the location, at which point we would come to them. We have shared a concept with her, and many of you have seen the postcard concepts in different cities. So we've shared that concept. It is a clear parking lot. It is about 4 blocks into the city. So it's not right at the edge of the city, but the circle that has the new sign that KPAC adopted that says, "Welcome to Keizer," is right at our city. So about 4 blocks in then would be this mural, and you've got clear sight lines because of the parking lot at With Nails and then her own parking lot. So I really think it could be a place where people would stop and take pictures. It's going to benefit her, just getting more attention. And we have a potential artist that we have said, should this be approved as a location, we'd like you to start with something like this, and then we'll see how that turns out. And that's Bridget Miller, who is, who has done many of the theater art for Keizer Homegrown Theater, but also she did the mural in the museum. So, and she's a muralist. That's really what, we can't talk to her right now because she also paints pet portraits for Christmas. And so we are not allowed to talk with her in November and December. She's all pet, all in. But there's the background on why you're getting this one. We'd like to potentially, if everything goes as planned and all of this can come together, then maybe we would have a ribbon cutting during Keizer Fest. So,
That's ambitious.
and Bridget's aware. So it's about a week process is what she says, if everything comes together. We'll see. It'd be great. So that's why you're only getting one. We have an interested party and an interested artist and a timeline.
Thank you for all of that information, and I'm good with taking it one at a time, tackling each project. Also, at some point, then we'll get the budget for that project as well. Okay. Sounds good. Any other questions on this proposal? All right, Council President Starr, would you please put a motion on the table?
I move that the Keizer City Council approve Los Dos Hermanos, located at 3590 River Road North, Keizer, Oregon, as an authorized site for public art, subject to the Keizer Code public art provisions and the Keizer Public Arts Commission review criteria.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that the Keizer City Council approve Los Dos Hermanos, located at 3590 River Road North, Keizer, Oregon, as an authorized site for public art, subject to Keizer Code public art provisions and the Keizer Public Arts Commission KPAC review criteria. Any discussion? All in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, signify by saying no. Motion passes unanimously, one absent. That takes us to item 9B, Parks Master Plan Project Process Update and Discussion. City Manager.
Thank you, Madam Mayor and Council. Again, we are trying to lay as much work as we can on Mr. Lawyer before he leaves, so this item is on his lap.
That's right.
All right, Mr. Lawyer.
Thank you, Mr. Brown. Madam Mayor and Council, excuse me. At the November 17th, 2025 regular session of the City Council, the topic of the Parks Master Plan update was discussed. Council inquired about the public outreach done up to that point. The master plan process has included a pop-up booth at this year's Keizer Fest event, a meeting with a stakeholders group that included all neighborhood association representatives, sports group representatives, and community members, and an input session from the Parks Board. Staff also presented the outreach boards used at the Keizer Fest event to various city committees for their input. Prior to discussion at the November 17th meeting, the discussion was planned to return to the Parks Board for to be discussed at the November meeting and then considered in the December meeting for a recommendation to council. The council asked staff to bring the topic back to the next council meeting to discuss possible additional outreach on the pavilion being sited at Keizer Rapids Park. Additional information and input on the location at Keizer Rapids Park may be a point of conversation for future public engagement. The area of the dog park off of Shamar Road has not been considered in the outreach materials. Staff is recommending an additional town hall meeting be scheduled after January 1st, 2026 to engage the community on the topic and solicit more feedback. Staff will coordinate with the consultant, MIG, to schedule this town hall as soon as practicable in January. If desired, staff may be able to use a public engagement platform to seek feedback online about the location of the proposed pavilion. Updating the master plan is a council-approved short-term goal. There will be additional costs for this work as this is outside of the current scope for MIG. Providing direction to staff now will allow the process to keep moving forward at the earliest possible date. And projects need to be on the park need to be in the parks master plan to be eligible for STC funds to be used on them. We've identified a couple alternatives, provide direction to staff on the additional public outreach opportunities, or do nothing and proceed with the parks master plan update. Staff recommends the council direct staff to provide additional engagement opportunities through a town hall style meeting by amending MIG's contract and to use the city's engagement platform to seek feedback on alternative locations within Keizer Rapids Park for the pavilion under consideration. And with that, I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Madam Mayor,
Mr. Brown.
we'll just add one thing to the staff work too there. The additional financial costs would come from the Community Prosperity Initiative grant that we received from the county.
Thank you for that, because I was going to ask that question. Okay, so it's no cost from our general fund. These were funds that we obtained specifically for, through a grant that you submitted to the county commissioners, wasn't that in 24? Like over a year ago, for the purpose of looking at this potential facility addition to Keizer Rapids Park. Is that correct? Okay. That's good news there. I'll go to Council Christopher, but then I'm going to try to catch everybody.
So how much is it going to, my first question is, how much is it gonna cost us to have MIG there? And do we have to have MIG there? We're requesting additional city input. They've already done their work. We just wanna know, who am I talking to? We just wanna know, and give the public an opportunity to speak to us. So how much is it? And why do we need to have them as part of this process?
I have not asked for the additional cost yet because I didn't know exactly what to ask for. Based on experience and based on working with them in the past, I'm gonna say it's probably gonna be around $3,000 to $5,000. My recommendation is to have them at least attend, if not coordinate and I'll say manage the town hall. They've been involved in the process from the beginning. They've tabulated all the information, all the data received from the public to this point. I think it would be a disservice to the process to not let them continue to see it through so they can help guide the process to a completion.
What do you think, Mr. Brown?
That was really initially that's still really my thoughts as well, is that they've been the impartial convener of this process, and to let them do it. One more meeting, and then what I referred to our public engagement platform, and that's a new tool that we have that I've been exploring. I wasn't super specific on it because we haven't, this would be the first time to use it, but we have this new platform through Polko because of our use of their citizen survey. And so we have it for 2 years, and we can push stuff out on social media channels and a lot of different ways. So I experimented actually at the end of last week with it and explored it. So we'd use that, but in-person meetings are always nice. They are good facilitators. I mean, we can listen, but I think a good facilitator is priceless.
Follow up? So, so they'll be compiling the information that is garnered from the town hall, and they would be leading so would it be appropriate then if we said not to exceed? I don't want you to tell me it's gonna be $3,000 to $5,000. I'm already mad at that, because I think they were hired to facilitate this entire process. I don't think they did an exceptional job of that. I think that all of us worked to get more input and feedback. And so I would want it very specific that you facilitate, you compile the data, and we'll pay you to a not to exceed whatever the city council decides on. That's what I would vote for. I wouldn't vote to do that unless those parameters are part of the motion.
Counselor, thank you. Counselor Dren, thoughts, questions?
She asked my question.
Okay. Council President Starr?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. When we do another one of these contracts in the future, is there a way that we can, and I don't know exactly the right verbiage, but is there a way we can quantify the outcomes to be more clear in what we're looking for in the engagement and the outreach process? And my reason for asking is I always go back to my experience at Keizer Fest. I didn't know where to find them, right? And I look at the number of people on that survey that visited that booth. It was really low. And so from what I would have expected. And so I'm just, in the future, so we're not maybe having a similar conversation down the road, can we work on maybe quantifying and being very clear, like a minimum of X number of participants and feedback or contacts, et cetera, rather than just being open-ended? That's would be my request. And then I agree on the not to exceed level, so. in the motion, and I'll make a note of that.
Counselor Kohler, questions, comments, ideas?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. The people that I talked to about this, all of them said that what we need to do is put the pavilion where the dog park is and move the dog park over by where the fill was recently placed. And that seems to make a lot of sense to me, because then you can share the parking lot with the turf field and some additional parking around the pavilion. So that does make a lot of sense, but as far as, you know, I always hate throwing money at something that we don't have some additional real benefit from. So I'm just not really sure what the additional benefit's gonna be by having them there. So if maybe somebody can explain to me what that is, but I don't know what it is yet.
Did you have do you want to follow up on the question that was asked of Mr. Lawyer, who shared his thoughts on it? Or is there some additional information that would be helpful?
Well, Mr. Lawyer could probably let me know what that additional, what they would be providing for that, other than being there and kind of running a meeting. But that I'd like to know that, yes.
Mr. Lawyer?
One thing they're gonna add or provide is consistency through the end of the process. I'm not gonna be here. This is not gonna be done by February 6th.
Well,
So they will
There's a
be,
you know what in the
they will
punch
be
bowl.
here to provide that consistency from the beginning of this process to the end. I think there's value in that. That's my opinion.
Mr. Brown?
Yeah, and I think there's value in that they have managed the data or the information that's come as a result of not just Keizer Fest, but also the stakeholder meeting where we invited all the neighborhood associations and potential sports users. And so they have all that data captured. We could hold something, record it, and pass it on to them. But somehow they've got to integrate this additional framework. And the other thing is, it didn't come up during the process, is this idea about the dog park.
No,
We've
it's new.
been really myopically focused on behind the Big Toy, south of the Big Toy. So this idea is kind of a late in the project. And the good thing is, it's not too late. We're in the middle of it, and it's better to do it before we wrap up this report back to council and before the Parks Commission has to make a recommendation to council. So,
Mr. Lawyer?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. The number I quoted was from my experience work with MIG, and it occurred to me as I'm sitting here thinking, the Keizer Fest event was not part of their original contract. Okay, we added that, and that was about, I think, $3,500 for them to prepare the material, attend Keizer Fest, 2 of them, and then put it all together afterwards, which is a lot more work and a lot more time involved than a town hall. So my number might be high, okay?
Good.
Might be high, but I just wanted to mention that's where the number came from in my head, is what we'd added to the contract, which is a lot more time and effort that should be needed for a town hall type meeting.
and when they come, we're not only asking them to just facilitate and ask questions, but they come with boards, maps on them, and different mock-ups. So that's typically part of their process.
Thank you. Did you have a follow-up question on that? Because I
Yes.
want to go to Counselor Parsons for her input.
Well, I would want us to clearly lay out what we're looking for from them. So when they go into that meeting, they just don't say what they've said before. Like you said, there's different information. What I've been real concerned with, Bill, and you know this to be true, I don't want them to lead us to a conclusion. I don't want them to say, we're gonna build this for these purposes in this location and it's this size. Because we don't know. None of us will probably be here when this actually comes to fruition. So I'm really concerned if we hire them, we want to know, of course, here's some what I don't want is us to have to do another dang master plan amendment. I want enough flexibility in there. I thought Matt Lawyer did an outstanding job at the Neighborhood Association. Didn't you, Rhonda? I thought he was terrific. And he said, who's the parks chair? And really what it comes down to is, where are you going to put it and what's the not to exceed size? And I thought, really, that's it. Where are you going to put it? And is it one location or are there 2 or 3 potential locations so that when it does happen, that work would already be done? So that's all I want to say is, if we hire them, we don't want it so, nobody has any money for this. And nobody has, it will, like I said, will probably none of us be here. So let's give ourselves as much flexibility as we possibly can.
Flexibility, I just highlighted that.
Good.
Okay. Counselor Parsons.
Well, that was kind of my question, was the flexibility, because I don't think we should just say it's got to be this size, it's got to
Yes.
be in this place, it's got to be built this year, and it
Yes.
has to have this much parking, right? It doesn't need all that, right, Bill? It just needs to say a pavilion in Keizer Rapids
We
Park.
don't want to do the master plan again.
I mean, tell us what it has to say.
I think the concept of where should it be and what's the maximum size is a good way to approach it.
Fantastic.
It's hard
Thank
to
you.
identify the needs of a given facility if you don't know what that really is, okay? And none of us really know what that is, and that's not
No.
the intent of this process.
And it never was.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can there be multiple sites within the park identified? Possibly.
Okay.
That's a new twist. I've not done that before, okay?
Okay.
It's possible. It may not be possible. I don't know.
Okay.
That's a short answer. But yes, I think the direction is, where should it be and what's the maximum size?
Yeah.
Thank you. Youth Counselor Guptill. Anything?
I have nothing right now, thank you.
Okay, raise your hand if you do, okay? I really appreciate everybody's comments on this, and I won't repeat the ones that are in my notes that you already covered. I really want to go back and camp on the flexibility. In the final result, in the master plan, if I remember from the prior iteration, we had a general area in which a pavilion or other covered structure would be allowed. So we have the flexibility in the master plan process, as I understand it, to say, this is the area in which this would be allowed in this park, but we're not saying it's going to be there, just more generalized. Is that correct?
I think that's the way to go. In the activity center portion of the park.
I'm looking, he's thinking.
I'm not sure it's quite that simple, okay? And when you get to being, so that's in there properly and legally for SDCs to be used, I'm not sure about that specific criteria, how detailed that has to be, okay?
Okay.
I do know that it doesn't have to be an established size, no. It does, but the site in maximum is probably more appropriate. The term pavilion is pretty open, okay? There's not a real good definition of what is a pavilion. A pavilion could be considered a large picnic structure, for instance, or a wedding venue could be considered a pavilion. Those are pretty big swings of what it really is, okay? So I don't know that focusing on the term pavilion or what it is so important right now as, again, where should it go, where should it be, what's the maximum size for that area? If we use a picnic shelter pavilion concept, okay, there's multiple places that could go in the park. Could go down by the river. I mean, lots of places. I mean, and I'm kind of not making this up, but using examples as we go. If we get into a wedding venue type pavilion, you start getting limited on where it can fit because you've got to add the parking to go along with it, okay? So that there's a restriction by itself just on what it ends up being, okay? So as it gets to the point with sites located on a maximum size, then you can, in the future, should be able to construct something without having to go back and change it.
Great.
That was, I think, the answer I know I was looking for. So my question then to the group and to our staff members is that we have a lot of data right now. What do we want to get from this town hall? If we just throw open, we're going to have open discussion. We're, I think, reinventing the wheel. what are the specific data outcomes that we want to make sure get asked, the types of questions and materials that will help us narrow this down to get something that's actionable. And thank you for bringing up SDC eligible as something we want to keep in mind in this town hall process. I don't have the answer to that, but I'd like to make sure that we have, I don't want to be led, as Councilor Christopher said, but I also don't want to be completely open-ended. There's got to be some specific areas that we want to hear from people on. So the location area.
Yes.
The maximum size.
Yes.
And
That's it.
maybe a range of, thank you.
Activities.
Range of uses. Those three. How does that feel?
Well, I'll tell you.
Councilor Christopher.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
It feels good, except that I don't want to get us stuck if we name 5 things that could potentially happen here, and the 6th one comes up, and that's not something that was considered. Are we back into this process again? And another, what, 25,000? Yeah, I don't want to do that again.
Included but not limited to.
I love those words.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
Included, not
examples.
limited to.
And I like that you're going to try to do it on the, I forgot what you call it, the survey model, but what do you call it?
Engagement platform.
Public
Yes.
engagement platform.
Engagement platform. Let's engage.
I'm going to push back on one thing though, because I remember as we started the work on Keizer Rapids Park, pickleball wasn't a thing.
Bingo.
So we had to add that later.
I know, and we had to, that's how the pavilion got out of there.
Or did we? Mr. Lawyer's about to push back.
It's called
No,
sports
we-
court.
Oh, sports court.
That's
Yeah.
exactly right.
So if we use terminology that has the flexibility for us to be able to work with the community and users on the final development of the project, we have what we need in the master plan to have that next phase of the conversation.
There you go.
And then that would allow for potential users and the Parks Board and the community to say, this is what, we can now work within these parameters to create a covered structure facility that would benefit the community.
Do you remember what Richard called it? Something special.
That, Mr. Lawyer?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. One other point I wanted to make is, we talked about this at the last meeting. We moved the Big Toy location
Yeah.
with a master plan amendment. We did that in-house. We didn't hire MIG, okay? And the reason we did that is because it was a simple change. It was in the master plan, okay?
Yes.
And we just moved location. So
Oh.
unless laws change in the future that would prohibit us from doing that 5, 8, 10 years from now, once it's in the plan, moving location is not complicated,
Okay, great.
okay? So keep that in mind.
So we don't,
Kev?
so we don't have to specifically say, well, here or here or here. Pick a preferred location, knowing 10 years from now, somebody might have a better idea and move it, and that's okay, because it's already in there.
Potentially, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, great.
Counselor Kohler?
Yeah? With today's rules, yeah.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. So I would certainly not be opposed to putting something in that would say not to exceed 30,000 square feet, which would be 150 by 200. And then if it needed to be smaller, it could be smaller. And then if we wanted to make it 300 by 300, then we would have to come back and approve it.
So those, I think, are some of the things that, when we go to the town hall, we are going to ask people for input on the size range, the maximum that would be acceptable to the community and reasonable. SDC eligibility, I think, is really critical for our funding. Location range. And what was the other one I mentioned? I think that was it. Activity, thank you.
Range of use.
Yeah, range of uses, that's what,
I like
Counselor,
this
yeah.
I like this new range terminology.
Up to and including but not limited to.
I
a
like
range
it.
of
I
uses.
like
Can you
it.
tell we've been working on contracts?
Let's give us some maximum flexibility.
But that way we can engage on, we can ask the MIG to make sure that the materials presented help us with the conversations about these targeted areas.
Perfect.
And then we can get specifics in the data that's collected that will actually lead to helping us hone in on a master plan amendment that will be useful going forward for actual project development.
Great.
I think that's our final objective, is it not? That we,
Yes.
what the result will be something we can take action on after we adopt the master plan. Okay? Council President Starr, do you have something before we put a motion on the table?
I just wanted to make sure with the West Keizer that this kind of hits all the concerns.
Rhonda?
I'm
Okay, we're
seeing
getting,
that. Okay.
do you want to add something here? You did testify earlier, so something that you'd like to add comment? Come on down. Thank you for that.
Well, I've been involved with this since the park began. And I remember having charrettes and a lot of input. And that was pretty exciting because what I see now is that we do have areas of the park and we maybe can move some things around, but we're kind of limited now. I mean, we've got the turf fields in there now and the pickleball courts and everything. So we only have a couple locations that we're really talking about. So I don't know. I know you're just talking about one facility putting in there. We talked about, well, maybe, you know, what started this was the Keizer Fest has found a home at Keizer Rapids Park, I think. We can agree on that. So where they've been, do you put like a facility that's open to the public? And then what's been talked about in the past too is an indoor rec facility, which is a totally different thing. Like Bill said, pavilion is a broad term. And so do you put like an indoor sports facility down near Chimau? Or are you talking about two different things? We would like to see, I think a lot of the community would still like to see that area where the Keizer Fest is still be kept as public use, not something that has to be reserved like the turf fields. I mean, that is people can't really go in there without being on a team or so. And also in the master plan was an adventure course was put in there and a sports field. That's what we would be taking out if we did put a pavilion there. So adventure course, I mean, ROTC was interested in that and that kind of went by the wayside. Maybe that needs to come back. Something for the older kids to have fun with. A park is to be used, a lot of us think, be outside, enjoy the fresh air, the green grass. So, so maybe the facility, yeah, it just seems like we don't really know what kind of facility. And my concerns are that since the Keizer Fest has been kind of, I think that's why this opened up again, because the Keizer Fest would like to have a facility there that they could either add on to or use for their event. And there are a lot of people in the community which they want to have like more events at the park too. And so, yeah, so it's not the, so it's, I don't know what to say. There's, it's a big open area that, yeah. Let's see what comes out of that. But I'm glad that you're doing some more outreach. And I think like Mr. Brown said that doing that platform, you know, maybe bringing more than 60 in, you know, people who were on the survey from the Keizer Fest. So it seems like a small number. So broader outreach for the community.
Right.
So.
Along with the targeted work that's been done in the meantime, that they also did with the sports groups and so forth. So there's been a lot of work that's gone into this, and I love that we're having additional conversation to zero in to make sure we get it right. I really appreciate it. Questions or comments for Ms. Rich? All right, thank you so much. Really appreciate you hanging with us. Okay, are we ready to craft a motion? Okay.
We'll give it a shot.
Give it a whirl, Council President Starr.
I move that the Keizer City Council direct staff to provide additional engagement opportunities through a town hall style meeting by amending MIG's contract not to exceed $2,500 and to use the city's engagement platform to seek feedback on alternative locations within Keizer Rapids Park for the pavilion under construction.
I'll second that.
Yeah, pretty good.
I'm going to make one change, pavilion under consideration. You said construction. So with that change.
I did not read correctly,
Just the
except
last
that
word.
friendly amendment.
Okay, thank you. Just one minor
I
adjustment.
need new glasses.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded that the Keizer City Council direct staff to provide additional engagement opportunities through a town hall style meeting by amending MIG's contract not to exceed $2,500 and to use the city's engagement platform to seek feedback on alternative locations within Keizer Rapids Park for the pavilion under consideration. Discussion. So, Councilor,
Just because
sorry,
we did a
Christopher.
not to exceed, don't tell him that. See if you
Public
can get it for
record.
less.
It's on the record.
Who knows if they'll watch? I hope not.
I hope, yeah, it's public record. What I would like to do on the record, though, is that we want to make sure that the input has an emphasis on SDC eligible. That is probably not something that the public is going to be as engaged with, but something that we need to keep in mind in the recommendations that come back to council. That we would like to have conversations about maximum size of facility, a range of locations, and a range of uses.
Like it.
Okay?
Home on the range.
Where the deer and the antelope play. All right. Anything further?
But there needs to be a moose there too.
Oh, stop.
Can't take you guys anywhere. All right, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed signify by saying no. Motion passes unanimously, one absent. I'm going to save you all from further shenanigans and go on to other business. This time is
Thank you.
provided for the mayor's, council members or staff opportunity to bring new or old matters before the council that are not on tonight's agenda. Mr. Brown, does staff have any other business to bring to council tonight?
Madam Mayor and Council, I do have one item. Next Tuesday, December 10th, we have our signing ceremony with the EO Japan sister city, and we need authorization from council to notify of a public meeting. I know that we've talked about this, but it needs official council approval to add to the calendar.
Oh,
So moved.
Second.
all in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed?
Is it Zoom? Are we coming here or what's going on?
Let's finish the vote and then we'll get the details. Any opposed, signify by saying no. Motion passed unanimously, one absent. Time, how, and so forth. And I believe we're doing it from here, are we not?
You did it from here. Yep.
Here? Okay.
Yeah.
And it's 3:30 our time. It'll be 8:30 a.m. their time. So that's why the timing is what it is. And it'll be over Zoom and their council chambers to our council chambers. And I got to glimpse their council chambers. It's really interesting. It's really neat. Kind of looks more like a General Assembly
Okay.
city hall than ours, but.
Good clarification, this is Wednesday, the 10th. Okay, not Tuesday.
Yep, okay.
Okay, so I want to make sure that's clarified in the motion, because it was said Tuesday, but it is December 10th, 3:30. Be here if you'd like to witness the signing of the memorandum of understanding between the city of Keizer and the city of EO.
Okay.
So, looking
Yes,
forward.
they will be signing it to add further confusion. Their ceremony will be on the 11th,
Yes,
the
it
day
will.
ahead of us.
Yep, at the same time, but yeah, for us, December 10th, and then, thank you.
What?
Yeah, I was too.
Yeah.
No, wait.
December 10th and December 11th. Okay. So thank you for making sure that we are between the guardrails on our public notice. Anything else under other business?
No, ma'am.
All right, councilors, any other business to bring forward tonight?
Nope.
Okay, let's go to staff updates. Mr. Brown?
No staff update for me.
Okay. Mr. Wood?
Madam Mayor, City Council, just a reminder, Saturday night is the Miracle of Lights night for the City Council.
Thank you.
6 o'clock to 10 o'clock. If you can be there for all of it, great. If you can only be there for part of it, great. I will see you there. Thank
Six
you.
to what?
6 to 10.
Okay.
Okay, who?
Dress warm.
Who can make, yes, who can make it? One?
Maybe part of it.
Okay, early or late?
I think that's the Stephen Curtis Chapman concert, so maybe late.
Okay,
Probably middle to late.
middle to late,
I can't stand though, I can come early,
okay.
You can't
Maybe for a
stand?
little, if you could do like an hour or so, because I'm coming from Dallas, so I can't get there probably till 7.
I can do early then, I'll do early.
You do, yeah, if you get there at
I'll commit to
6.
6 too, Kathy.
Okay, if you do commit to 6 o'clock and we got staff members,
Okay.
I'll get there around 7-ish, depending on traffic.
All right.
And then, Youth Councilor Guptill, would you like to join us?
It's pretty fun.
Sure.
It's a ton of fun.
I'll have to check with our schedule, but
Okay,
I have it on my calendar, so.
all right, we're getting thumbs up from, the father figure.
Okay, so I think that's a yes.
Okay. And then, we'll have, sufficient staff members, so, okay. Sounds like it's gonna be a lot of fun at the food collection for the Miracle of Lights Saturday night. Okay?
I will be taking pictures of holiday dogs.
Yes, you, if you bring your dog and it has like antlers
Yeah,
or,
yeah.
or whatever, yeah, it's gonna be in the,
It's the cutest.
okay, quick. Anything else? Oh, water saving,
I wasn't going to mention it this time, but yeah, save water.
yeah.
We're in the sewer reset period, so your pocketbook will be happy and you'll have more money for Christmas presents.
That's right, to shop
Thank you.
local.
Shop local.
All right. Ms. Bissett,
Nothing tonight, Mayor, thank you.
actually, I'm gonna, say there is something, and you guys have done a fantastic job allowing people to now subscribe to receive notifications of meetings. Do you want to tell people where they can find that?
Yes, on our new website, there are 2 places to subscribe. You can subscribe for meeting, to receive meeting agendas and packets, and then you can also subscribe to receive different types of notifications.
So that way, anybody who would like to receive notifications, you get to control that. You don't have to email our staff and go get on a list. You get to control that, and it's going to allow more opportunity for people to subscribe and get notices in a timely fashion. So thank you for your work on that. I love the system at the state. I use that all the time to keep up subscriptions on activities in our departments. So thank you for
And
that.
could we just repeat that website too, for people at home, just in case?
It is keizer.or.gov.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Well done. Chief?
Thank you, Madam Mayor, City Councilors. I've taken enough of your time tonight introducing some wonderful folks. Thank you for that. I will do one brief, just an example of what our officers do on a small scale. We obviously go to all the big calls, deal with all the horrible things in the community. But this morning, a call came in that someone took 4 green bags off a front porch. And I would venture to say that in most jurisdictions, that's not a big deal. It's like at the most $20. We ended up finding this individual and returning the cans to the person that called it in. It was just one of those calls, like you talk about levels of service and what we do and what we don't do. We still respond to little thefts and deal with the little things here in this community that really matter to the folks that live here. So, and it was great, and everybody was happy except for the one person that stole the bags.
Perfect.
You also have an event coming up at Crossroads Fellowship on Friday, I believe. Is it Thursday or Friday?
Yeah, Thursday,
Thursday.
December 4th, 5:30. We have, it's the chamber event that we are attending, but it's a business merchant event. And we are going to have Detective Zavala and Lieutenant Nelson in attendance for the first ever Keizer, all Keizer, I guess, business merchant meeting. So,
Great idea.
yeah, it was probably somewhere over there came from that idea.
It was
And
Smarty Pants.
I would assume, or Jeremy Turner, or a combination thereof. So we got the invite and we're happy to go.
Thank you for doing that. Appreciate it. Mr. Lawyer?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. One thing tonight, now that the leaves are just about all done falling, our new street sweeper is going to try and get caught up. If you haven't noticed, they have not been doing a stellar job sweeping up leaves around the city. It is a new contractor. Our old contractor had us pretty spoiled. They'd been doing it for a long time. They had it down on how to control leaves. These guys are learning, okay? So have a little patience. We've been staying on them. They're committed to get them cleaned up and get caught up. But I know they've missed some streets. Regular sweeping hasn't happened, but they will get to every street and get it swept. And they told me this afternoon late, I asked them for a date. Give me a date. Mid-December didn't work. He said, and I want a date. So December 19th, which happens to be my oldest son's birthday, they claim they will be all caught up. So little patience. And one other thing, please, now that the leaves are almost all done falling, don't blow them in the street from your yard for the street sweeper to pick up. That is one against the city ordinance. That's a bit unethical, and it really compounds their problems getting caught up. So please don't blow your leaves in the street. Thank you.
You're here. Would you have our Public Works staff post that online so we can share that little tidbit with folks? I've actually walked my neighborhood and watched people do that and go, that's a really bad idea. You might want to blow them the other way.
Yes, absolutely.
And gotten some flack for it until I tell them who I am.
We will do that.
Thank you. I appreciate it. We'll help get the word out. Mr. Witham. Oh, I'm sorry. Councilor Kohler has something.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Mr. Lawyer, I had a couple of citizens ask me about fiber optic things. Is that still happening, or is that put aside? What's the status?
Which company are we talking about? We talking about Ziply?
It's just
Are we talking about the
Ziply,
company Easy
Comcast,
Fiber? Ziply's still under construction. As they mentioned at the last meeting, they were here. They're about a third of the way done with their infrastructure. They plan to be done mid-2026 with all their infrastructure. Keep in mind, some of that is overhead, okay, on the existing poles. So yes, that's gonna continue. I have no idea yet about Easy Fiber, what their plans are or anything. They've not submitted anything to us at this point.
So they haven't even started.
They haven't even started, no.
Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate that. Yeah, my neighborhood just got done and they left it in really good shape. So appreciate that. Mr. Witham.
Nothing this evening, thank you.
All right, Mr. Lindsay.
Thanks. I'll just share for Mr. Witham and for Mr. Wood and myself, we are about to embark on ICS 400. So it's the critical incident training that the county does for free. We're all going to be in its ICS 400 for the next couple of days, and then that'll round off our higher level training for managing emergency. Hopefully it doesn't exist or doesn't happen. But.
Good to be prepared. Thank you so much. Let's go to council member reports. Councilor Duran.
We talked about the big thing that I was going to talk about, because that was on our agenda with development on Lockhaven. Other than that, I don't have anything.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. Councilor Christopher.
I don't have anything, but I have a question, Bill. What is going on the corner of, I think it's 14th and maybe Manzanita? Is it? Manzanita Loop? There's all kinds of like construction vehicles, and it looks like they've dug a big hole in the street.
Oh, it's Mistwood.
It's Mistwood. Okay, what are they, oh, yes, you would know. So, nothing to do with us.
Honestly, I don't know. It's not a city project.
It's not. It's a personal. I mean, it's a.
But it looks like there's a hole in the street.
Could be a sewer repair.
I'm just saying. Okay.
I mean, if there's a hole in the street and it's a private residence
It
job,
looks
it's
like a hole in the street right at the bottom of the
probably the
driveway.
problem with their sewer line.
That's what I.
That's my guess, but
Okay, so
I
it's
don't know
nothing to
for
do
sure.
with us. Okay, I have nothing, Mayor, thanks.
All right. Inquiry minds want to know.
Yeah.
Council President Starr.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I have a couple things. Tree lighting tomorrow night.
Oh, good.
6 p.m. Come see Santa, get some cookies, hot cocoa, sing a few Christmas carols. And then I wanted to ask Mr. Brown if there was anything that happened last week at your executive leadership team meeting that maybe we wanted to share with our community.
Well, gee, I don't know if that would be mine to share. I thought more of somebody from the Chamber of Commerce to share.
Oh, what?
But it was a very exciting executive leadership team meeting, and 7 out of the 8 people there were surprised about it.
So just wanted to let our community know that congratulations to Mr. Lawyer for being selected as the 2025 Keizer Lights, Holiday Lights Parade Grand Marshal. So, yeah. So we thought that would be a fun way to say thank you and recognize all of your, just your support and dedication to all of the projects and the parades and everything throughout your time here, 37 years, so, yep. So-
Who's counting?
And hopefully, if there's any influence into the staging of the parade, we can put the Public Works group first and have you be part of that, so. Okay.
Yeah.
So thank you. And then speaking of, that'll be on December 13th, so.
Shani, good job on that.
Yeah, that's wonderful. Counselor Kohler.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. A couple of things. I got to go to a Materials Management Advisory Council meeting. That was thrilling. We talk about trash and what we're doing with it. There's quite a push by some regulatory agencies to have us recycle more, and you'll hear more about that in the future, I'm sure. We had the Keizer Community Dinner Wednesday. I'd like to special thank you to Council President Starr, who served 425 people a meal. Wow. So she was rocking and rolling when it come to putting this stuff on the plate.
Potatoes and gravy.
That's a good one.
It was good. Living room decoration, when's that happening?
Uh-oh. Is that a Mr. Wood thing, or?
Soon. Madam Mayor and Council, we did actually discuss that in the executive leadership team, and I think, well, we'll talk about it tomorrow in our meeting, but I think we're going to be going with one larger tree this year.
I think that's good, yeah.
Shake it up a little bit. And then the last thing, I want to thank Kyle and all the people that helped Mr. Christmas, Mr. Wallery, decorate the Christmas tree. Kyle was up on top, putting the star up, so. This happens to me. That's a gift for being tall. Thank you for doing that. And folks have been really excited for tomorrow night. How tall is that tree now? Does anybody know? 88 feet. 88. It was measured. 88 feet, covered in lights. Looking forward to it. It was. I think it was about 12.
I recall that's the second tree in that location, but I don't remember. I'm going to tell you it was probably 15 or 20 feet tall when it was first planted, but I'm not positive about that.
Yeah, it wasn't that.
It wasn't huge, but it grew fast, as you can tell. But I know that's the second tree that was planted there. I helped break up the asphalt that was around the first tree that we couldn't get watered.
Yeah, it took a lot of hand watering, if I recall, to keep the thing alive because, the first one just said felt starved. All right, looking forward to that. Lots of holiday stuff. Thank you, Counselor Kohler. Counselor Parsons.
No, I just have one question for Mr. Warrior. Lock Haven Drive in front of McNary, that little dip you do is getting worse.
Yep.
What's going on with that? Are they
Well,
gonna come fix that again, or?
We have hired a contractor, just got the contract back signed today.
Okay.
To get in there and dig it up and see if we can figure out what's going on. We really don't know.
It's just shrinking more all the time.
And we don't really have the equipment and the capability of doing it quickly.
Okay.
It's kind of a major road.
Yeah, it is.
you
I know on the trucks, and
school,
that's where the trucks
traffic,
go.
all that.
Yeah.
So we've hired a contractor to come in and with the ability to dig it up, faster than we can and have the equipment. We suspect it may have something to do with the Salem's sewer interceptor that runs down Lock Haven, but we don't know until we get down there and find out. We've dug down ourselves about 7 feet in one spot and didn't find anything obvious. That didn't fix it, that didn't stop it, so we gotta go deeper to see if we can find out what's going on.
Well, thank you, because a lot of people have been asking me, so I thought, well, only you would know.
Yep, that's
Thank
it.
you.
Thanks.
All right. So, Counselor Christopher, one more thing?
I would be remiss. I forgot, former City Councilor Jackie Moyer wanted to ask the question that, is it legal to put Christmas lights around stop signs?
Mr. Lawyer?
Technically, it is not legal. Anything that you do to take away from a traffic control device, and a stop sign is considered one, is illegal. So putting lights around the pole, the post, will take your attention away from the stop sign. So technically, yes, that would be illegal.
And that's real hard to
Whether the
Gubser.
police department would respond to that call or not, I'll leave that to the chief to answer.
You better speak, chief. She's watching.
We've already discussed this off camera.
The official word is don't.
That's right.
Leave it there. I'm just gonna add a couple of things to wrap up our council reports for this evening. I've been involved with the Council of Governments on their Finance Committee and Board as they're working through a relook at the level of service and the financial position of the organization, serving our three counties of Marion, Polk, and Yamhill. Tremendous effort and really setting us up for a strong future. So a lot of work's going into that, and I'm really proud of the teamwork that we are putting into that from those three counties. On the 26th, I had the privilege of addressing the Capital Toastmasters. This is a very long-term club that in Salem and is located at the Oregon State Penitentiary. This club was put together by AICs, the Adults in Custody, who are working to help themselves and the other people in that the AIC community, especially getting those who are will be leaving that facility even more prepared to succeed in their future life going forward, but also the way they work to help each other in their own, setting the direction for their lives and looking how they can make a positive difference. So it was a real privilege to be there, to listen to their speeches, and then to share on leadership with that group. Thank you for that invitation. Coming up, you've heard all the holiday stuff. Please check the websites, especially the Chamber of Commerce website. If you plan to go someplace on December 13th, just don't. Enjoy the parade, and you can go do your shopping and things like that before and after. And of course, shop local. The Business Leadership Summit will be next Monday at the Portland Convention Center, Oregon Convention Center in Portland. I try to go every year that I can. This is a leadership summit of decision makers, business leaders from across the state looking at our financial, economic, and innovation areas across our state. Also, a lot of brainstorming on solutions, ideas, and the Oregon way of looking at financial and economic futures. So looking forward to that. And then we mentioned the Holiday Lights Parade. Well, the next morning, make sure you go to Santa Breakfast at the Keizer Fire District on the 14th. And Candy Cane Day will be at the Keizer Fire District on the 20th. That is all I have. Let's look at agenda input real quick. And that would be on December 8th. Next Monday night, we'll be here for the Long Range Planning Task Force starting at 6 p.m. On December 15th, we'll meet in regular session at 6 p.m. And then following that, we will have a short work session on the Bailey Road property, which is just south of the campus here. And then in the new year, our first meeting will be on January 5th, 2026, convening at 6 p.m. That is all we have on the agenda for this evening. Is there anything else for the good of the order? Seeing none, the time is now 7:48 and we are adjourned.